Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Rodeo Time, the podcast. Got a lot to talk about today. I'm going to talk about some hot takes of mine, some small hills that I would die on, give you some current events. One of the hot takes I'm going to talk about later is, I don't know, maybe it's just a small hill I would die on, but that Ty doesn't like this song. Let me give you this. Man, that does it for me. Let's get it started. Get it on your mind because the Rodeo Time podcast is kicking off. This is, that's an energy drink for my ears right there, baby. That's what that is. Yes. That's an Ignite for my ears. Ignite Light, really. I've been hitting the Ignite Light. It's half the caffeine. It's 100 milligrams. I don't feel like 200 is that much for a day, but Forest Berry Ignite Light. I love it. And that's what I'm drinking right here in this cup. Current events are, hey, coming up. I just got the call. I got the call. What call are you talking about, Dale? It's the call to go to Arizona. So they've gone on a couple of trips. We went on one. They went on one maybe a month ago, and I could not go. I had a prior agreement with a sponsor that Total Feeds that I had to go to. I just had to go to that deal. And I was like, yeah, man, I just can't. I'm sorry. I just can't. There's a few things throughout the year that I just got to go to. But most things from now on, when Arizona calls, I'm going to cancel. And I think, because occasionally, like, I'll have, like, maybe some, like, a contractual agreement. I'm thinking about maybe putting it in a contract. Hey, if Derek Begay calls me, I'm going. So, yes, I'll MC your event, for instance. But if I get a call to go to Arizona, sorry about you. I'll put that in writing. There you go. That way I'm not. Anyway, I'm excited. I'm a little nervous. Roped a bull yesterday. A neighbor's bull got in on us. He was like maybe 2,200 pounds. It was a big bull. And I had just come from the sale barn that morning, so I saw animals and then saw how much they weighed. So that 2,200 is really close to dead on. And let me tell you this. I've got video evidence that he was crippled before I roped him. But he wouldn't drive. He wouldn't go to the pins. Like, I had to give him 20 cc's of nylon, baby. So I stuck it on him. Immediately lost my dally. Because they dally in Arizona and then they tie off on the side of a cliff, which is, why not just tie off at the beginning? Whatever. Anyway, the point is, I got a foot in both camps. That's another hot take we'll talk about later. Regardless, yesterday, some things happened. I dropped but it worked out because, like, the bull would kind of angle back towards the pins. And so I didn't want to lead him through, like, thick brush, thicker than the brush in Arizona. And we got him back close to a road, picked the rope back up, dallied, drug him in the trailer. It was no problem. You won't be able to do that with a Maverick in Arizona. That sucker is Gonzales if you lose your dally out there. But it did get me a little bit nervous. It was a humbling moment. That was one of the segments the interns wanted to see today. Like, what are some moments you've been humbled? Pretty much anything I do with the rope, I get humbled. There's good days in roping, there's bad days in roping. And sometimes Dale Brisby has a bad day with roping. It's not bull riding. I go 90 every time. The only time I don't get bucked off. If I don't like the way a bull is bucking, I will sometimes step off. I've never been jerked down. I've only jerked the bull up. But with roping, completely different. So that's a current event. I'll be going out to Arizona. I'm so excited. I love it out there. It's just so unique to what I'm used to. And it's challenging. I think men should do things that are challenging. Women too. But I'm not a woman. I'm a man. And the best man ever to do anything. Danny Duncan, he's on his way. He is en route as we speak. Wild man. Danny Duncan is a wild man. He wants to get on a bull. He also wants to get on a bull naked. I don't know if that's going to happen, but he's on his way. I met him at a UFC event in Salt Lake City, and we hung out in the Black Rifle Coffee Suite, and it was fun. It was a really good time. There was a huge UFC belt in there, and I think it took like 8 minutes of us being in there, and we turned around and Danny was naked and he had the UFC belt, and that's what he was using as his loincloth. So that's Danny Duncan. But he is the sweetest human. He's so nice. He's reading his Bible. He's starting to study Christianity with a very serious interest. And so, I welcome him to Radiator Ranch with open arms. And he wants to ride a bull. Guess who he calls? Dale Brisby. He just bought a horse. We FaceTime like maybe 4 times a week when he has questions. Another recent event before we move on to hot takes and small hills that I'll die on is Ella Langley. We talked about it a little bit. It's been a headline of ours, but I was in the music video, stole the show, was a star of the show. I'm a giver, and I'm literally the most humble guy you'll ever meet. And so for her to call and beg me to help her give that video some attention by being in it, it's like, okay, I guess I'll make time. Anyhow, Luke Grimes, great friend of mine, co-star with me in my show Yellowstone. I don't know if you guys saw me in that. Season 5. I want to say episode 8, when Jimmy goes to the Sixes. Your boy was there. I saw Taylor Sheridan a couple weeks later, I'm sorry. And he said, man, your followers loved that you were in Yellowstone. I was supposed to appear in some more episodes. He wanted me to do some of I don't know if you guys remember my intern cut downs. A couple summers ago, we filmed a bunch of those. Like, man, why don't you step off that horse? I think he'll do better without you on him. Like those kind of things. He wanted me to give one of those a rip. Never happened. But anyhow, Luke Grimes in the music video, he's a super cool dude. Agreed to go on the podcast at some point, a later date. That's what they all say, except for George Strait. He just flat out said no. That was another humbling moment. There you go. Hey, I'm a fellow king. Why would you not help out a young king? He's a king of music, country music, probably all music. And I'm the king of riding bulls and punching fools. I've already ridden my bull today, so you guys watch out because I'm looking for a fool to punch. It looks like going back to Ella Langley, and that'll wrap up with current events. Ella recently went on Theo Vaughn. She didn't have quite the spark in her eye with him as she did with me, but it was similar. Am I worried? No. But yes, she had him intro her at Stagecoach Music Festival, whatever. I was busy anyway. I think her and Theo would do well together. They would probably have beautiful children. Here's the thing about Theo. He's much taller than you think. Most of what we see of him on the internet is him sitting down. That's a tall man. Broad shoulders. Has a lot of UFC friends. So he probably knows jiu-jitsu just by having those friends. Hasn't worked with me in Cowboy, but I'm hoping. I'm crossing my fingers. Anyways, yeah, I'd be happy for Ella if her and Theo wound up married and she had, that look in her eye like she did with me at one time. I mean, that'd be fine. That'd be good. Whatever. On to the next one. I can celebrate my ex-girlfriend's wins. Hey, look at Katie Kaufman. I was elated to see her marry Elliot. Golly. Somebody else jump on that grenade. Good heavens. I'm taking a drink out of the Ignite Light I talked about, but yeah, B Bar J Custom Silverwork, I think. Anyways, Preston Johnson, he made me this cup like 10 years ago. I think it was when I first moved here to Winnebago, which would have been in 2016. So yeah, 10 years ago, and I'm still sipping on it. Anyway, hold on one sec. Let me take a little sippy sip. That is delicious. So that's my favorite thing right now. Ignite Light, Forest Berry with some creatine. All right, hot takes and small hills to die on. I talked to the interns, and they helped me point out some of my hot takes, because to me, some of them, like for instance, I call tanks, and all of them call them ponds. Everybody like super east of here likes to call a tank a pond. And they say, one hot take is you think that a pond is a tank. No, you think that a tank is a pond. I don't even know what to call a pond. I get the reference when people say they're from across the pond, meaning like in Australia and that the ocean is a pond. I think an ocean is closer to a pond than a tank is a pond. They say Donnie has observed, and he thinks that it's a Texas thing. So anyhow, I probably have a lot of hot takes that I don't really know about, is what I'm getting at. Because when they said that this morning, I was like, bro, you guys are wrong. So another hot take of mine, calf ropers are the most cowboy people in the arena. You probably heard my podcast with Shane Hanchy, world champ. He was like, dude, I really want to go on your, like, he was begging me to go on the podcast. And I was like, okay. Anyway, just like everybody does, Dana White, Kid Rock, they're all like, can we please go on the Rodeo Time podcast? And I was like, yes, you can. Anyways, Shane Hanchy and I were talking. I was like, dude, you calf ropers have to do it all. Obviously, you got to rope the calf. So you track the calf, you get your horse in the correct lead, you rope the calf, you got to stop your horse, you got to step off on the wrong side of the horse, run down the rope very quickly, otherwise the calf might get up. You've got to flank upwards of a 280-pound calf. Shane weighs like 145. So he flanks a calf that is twice his weight, gets him down, ties that calf. Now, mind you, he's tied off, hard and fast, baby. Committed. That's what he is. He's committed. Ties the calf down, all in under 8 seconds. That's a lot of things to do. You got to ride, you got to rope, you got to tie a calf down. Like, it's manual labor. It's not just like, and you just got to be able to do it all of it. Now, that's coming from a bull rider who loves bronc riding, who's been on a few bareback horses and fought bulls. And so I don't know. I think the next person that's maybe most cowboy in the arena is probably going to have to be the pickup man. He's kind of got to do it all too. You got to rope, and then being able to ride a horse. Like, a good pickup man is probably also super cowboy. Healers, Shane Hanchy said like a healer. Those guys, like, dude, it's so fast that you've got to turn left and get that pinky down. Anyway, next, the intro music. We already talked about that. That's not a hot take. That's a hot take for Ty, because everybody loves the intro music. Please comment below how you feel about the intro music. Answer in the comments and just give a full sentence. Dale, I love your intro music. Ty is a crazy person. They pointed out that it's a hot take for Dale Brisby that I think it's a good idea to pee in a bottle at a gas station. I disagree. I do that a lot. I learned that from Jeff Barron. I hate to air out his dirty laundry if he doesn't want people to know that. But essentially, I think that it saves water. And just like Dwight Schrute says in The Office, are you that bad at going to the bathroom? You can't pee in a bottle? Like, dude, just, especially like if you don't need to go that bad, just pee in a bottle, throw it in the trash. You got the door, open the back door. There's like a sliver of gap in your two doors when they're both open. If you're standing in looking at the front door at your steering wheel, the gap is like this big. I mean, how big is your back? Like, bro, nobody can see. Just pee in the bottle and go to the next town. Like, while you're filling up, I think the reason why I do it, I'd say saving water, but it's not about water conservation, which I do think is important. It's more about time efficiency. If I start the gas pump, I pee in this water bottle, there's nothing in that gas station that's good for me. Maybe the beef jerky and more water. But you don't want to spend $3 on a cold water bottle. Get a case of waters for $6, put them in your back seat, and you're good for a lot of trips. So anyways, you start the gas pump, you pee in one of your old water bottles, you throw it in the trash can right there, you stop the gas pump, you get back in your truck, and you go down the road. It's more time for being at your destination. And don't give me that it's all about the journey bull crap. I'm not going to walk in that gas station and get them to make me spend $18 on some crap that's unhealthy. Anyway, to me, that's not a hot take. I think that that's just being wise. Speaking of water, one of the other hot takes, I like to order water with no ice and lemon at a gas station. I'm sorry, at a restaurant. And the water is usually cold. Like, why do we need ice? It just hits you in the face. You end up crunching it all day. Surely that's not that good for your teeth. I don't know. Like, maybe the teeth thing, whatever. But the other thing that's wild to me is how often waiters or waitresses will get the water order wrong. Bro, if I go to a restaurant and you're my waiter, you're my waitress, and you get my water order wrong, I'm still going to tip you probably pretty good. But if you get it right, you are on your way to an above 20% tip, 100%. So that's a hot take. Die Hard is a Christmas movie. That's kind of a popular conversation on online, and I do think it is a Christmas movie, and we do play it every Christmas at my house. Cowboy Channel doesn't show the bullfighters enough. Now, these are all hot takes that my interns told me that I have, and I do agree with them. Cowboy Channel, I love what they're doing for the sport of rodeo. I hate what they're doing with the camera post bull ride. I understand that it might be exciting to see how a bull rider reacts to either a good ride or maybe a buck off. But what's more exciting is watching some of the greatest bullfighters in the world to ever do it work a bull. And to me, I would much rather see Cody Webster and Dusty Tuckness, Nathan Hart, Nate Justice, Weston Rutkowski, like all these guys, Bo Sheath, all these guys, AA Austin Ashley, that are so good. It's poetry in motion, the way they handle bulls. And we never get to see it. We never get to see it. We've got these 4K cameras showing up at rodeos. I'm not sure who the new CEO of Cowboy Channel is. My opinion is not that important. I get it. I understand. I'm just a guy. I'm just the world's greatest bull rider of all time to ever walk the earth. And you should be thanking me for even, but anyway, I'm not sure who's in charge. But this year at the NFR, call it the Dale Cam. Hey, Cowboy Channel, give me a relationship. We'll call it the Rodeo Time Dale Cam. And what it is just a short glimpse. I'll sponsor it. You want me to pony up some dough? I'll do it. Cowboy Channel, I'm calling you out, and I'll pay for it. I'll put my money where my mouth is. Make it a small in the corner of the screen. The Dale Cam, the Rodeo Time Bullfighters Dale Cam is going to show Cody Webster and Dusty Tuckness and Nate Justice at the NFR, whoever makes it, whoever gets voted in, and it's going to show them working that bull. You can have Donnie Gay breaking down the bull ride on the main screen, but give me a little side screen or give me a good 10 seconds of them guys putting them in the blender, okay? I think that people are going to love it. Let's do this together. I'm not one to just point out a problem. I'm going to offer a solution. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. You tell me what it's going to cost for that to be called the Rodeo Time replay. That's better. The Dale Cam is cool. The Rodeo Time replay for the bullfighters. I'm on it. And all the rodeos. Give me a number. Send it to me. I'm moving on to hot takes. Somebody tell Cowboy Channel, hey, Dale's got an idea, and we're going to do it. Moving on to the hot takes. And this is more of a, I'm gonna X that out because that's a small hill I would die on. I'll get to that in a minute. I like to cook my steaks on a griddle. A lot of people use like a normal grill, but I am like, dude, the flat top is the way to go. I'm not sponsored by anyone grill-wise. I know a lot of people have grill sponsors. I do have a Traeger. I've got a smoker. I've never used it. Somebody gave it to me as a present. The flat top I've gotten, I bought myself, and I freaking love it. That's not typically their game. I know they've got some. What's the other one? Blackstone. Anyways, I've never used one of those, but the Traeger makes a flat top too, and I think Blackstone is the popular one. But anyway, dude, if you get that steak at room temp, and then depending on the thickness of the steak, now if you get like an 1.5 inch and 3/4 inch steak, like you're gonna need to throw it in the oven after. But if you get a 1 inch steak and it's room temp, like put it in warm water in a baggie before you cook it, like super room temp, then bro, you get that thing seared on each side and it's medium rare. So that's me cooking the steaks on the griddle. Jet skis are stupid. So I guess what I mean by that is like, think about your money before you buy a jet ski. A side by side, I get, because hey, we need to work on the ranch, and that saves your pickup. You can get around the ranch and work cow, feed mineral. You don't work your cows on them side by side, otherwise you ain't no cowboy. But so Can-Am, but like if you're gonna get a jet ski, make sure your bills are paid before you do that. That's just a hot take. Ordering milk at a bar is what Lisa told me. So like if I'm staying in a hotel, I like to have a slumber, and mixed with milk slumber is a drink that Mountain Ops makes, and it's a drink that I have at night. In a week, I'll probably have one. You know, maybe I had caffeine late in the day, and I'd like to go to sleep and sleep hard. It's got a pretty good mixture of melatonin, not much melatonin, thiamine, magnesium, whatever. Anyways, it's delicious in milk. Hot take, whatever. And so going to a bar to order milk at night throws people off. I'm kind of off of sugar right now, but I was pineapple juice, ordering just pineapple juice at a bar. If you're a bartender, that is a hot take. I want pineapple juice and no alcohol. People look at me so weird. Like it's the most underrated of juices. Orange juice, just okay. Grape juice, whatever. Pineapple juice, bro. Put that one on the podium with the gold medal around its neck. Early morning workouts is what one of the interns told me as far as like a hot take. I will not argue that the workout itself is better in the morning. I bet if, a workout compared to like mid-afternoon, you're probably going to get a better workout in, but I would argue that your day is better if you work out in the morning. That's my hot take. No interns in the bathroom. Okay, all right. I went to a big business lately, and I saw that they had a special bathroom for the bosses. And I did not like that. I didn't. I've got to be honest with you. I was like, man, I wish everybody could just shoot like why is it that? And then as I got more and more interns, I learned why they did that. And when you own something, sometimes if you have a lot of people going in and out of, and when I say bathroom, like, yes, I added on to the warehouse and we have a third bathroom. So there's a men and women's in the front of the warehouse. And then in the back, there's one more bathroom. Well, the first year that I was in this new added on space, a lot of the interns would go in there and use my additional bathroom that I paid for, that I bought. And it wasn't fun to follow Cole Snyder's number 2. I got to be honest with you. Like his was the most noticeable. I could tell if it was Cole in there. Donnie's like, whatever. The seat's warm. It's not that big a deal. But Kevin, he didn't even bother to use mine. Like that would be the worst. That'd be even worse than Cole. But Kevin, he would go to the front. And then some of the guys are in containers that live right here. So they would just walk across the parking lot and go in their own container. That's fine. But I would even clean the bathroom. I cleaned, and at that time I would clean all of them often. Scrub the toilets. I'd put on the gloves, like get everything clean. And so that's the length I would go. Not only will I let you use my personal bathroom in the back that I just spent money out of my own bank account to build, but I'll clean it after you go. And so that's where I was. And it was all based on this business that I had gone to where only the bosses got to use this special bathroom off to the side. And then one day I went in to clean it. There's also a shower in my extra bathroom. Someone had worked out taken a shower, and done some trimming and left it. And I was like, that is why. That is why they didn't. They had a code on the door in the extra bathroom. That's why. And so now interns are not allowed in my bathroom. And so probably beard hairs, but I'm not sure. And I don't care to find out. But still, hey, this is my bathroom now. Y'all go to the front, and no interns allowed in Dale's private bathroom. So I get rocks thrown at me, but hey, there's just a level of cleaning for a person that I don't want to do during my work day. So anyway, what else? Hills I want to die on. We did the order. Okay, no interns in the back. I hate the word glizzy. That's all because of a former intern here. I'll just say his name. I'm just going to say it. But the man's name is Willie Wardle, and he liked to die on not die on hills. He would double down a lot, and sometimes the interns, they double down. You noticed on a recent episode of they doubled down on me. That was just a glimpse of what it's like when they double down on something. Well, Willie doubled down on the word glizzy, and it was just it had like a certain connotation to it, sexual orientation connotation to it, and I did not. I was just like, I really don't like hearing that word anymore. And then he found that out that I didn't like hearing it, and so I want to say it was more of like a triple down after that. And I was like, okay, wrote it on the wall. No more saying the G word around rodeo time. So I don't want to get too far into what people might think it means. I think in a lot of instances it might mean a gun. Other instances it does not mean a gun. Most of the time they refer to it. It means a hot dog, like you're going to eat a hot dog. Anyway, I'm not sure all the ways that the word is used, but I don't like it. And it doesn't make sense. And so my hot take is I don't think the word glizzy should be used. There you go. The interns loved to get to bring that up because they got to use the G word in conversation. And it really started to get me riled up. So, but probably in another world where I didn't have the little black-haired boy from Maryland doubling down, tripling down on something like to my face, just like, oh, yeah. Anyway, whatever. Love Willie. Love Willie. He moved on to bigger and better things, went to go work for the Frosts and learned bull riding, and great. Anyways, doing great. That one thing, doubling down on the G word, I did not like. So what else? Tucking in my T-shirt. So I have a T-shirt and I tuck it in, and they said that was not normal, but maybe it is. Comment below. Is tucking in your T-shirt normal? So speaking of, I've brought up gun, I've brought up tucking in my T-shirt. I'm going to do a sidebar moment. We're going to get back to hot takes, but a lot of people, do you guys remember when Instagram kind of came around? There were a lot of gun channels. They would do everyday carry, and there would be a picture of a hand with all the things that they would have. So I just thought, hey, I've never done an everyday carry for Dale Brisby. Let me empty my pockets. I've got the wallet that Leroy Gibbons made. I like a clip, very thin wallet. It goes in my front pocket. And if you don't know why, then you ain't no cowboy. Right behind that, I've got a knife sharpener. This is one of those, I think it's a 400 grit and a 600 grit knife sharpener from Moormaker. But I've got usually the black case. If you carry it around a lot, the little black plastic thing that it wraps in it'll just disintegrate after a while. And so I had Zane Heron, good friend of mine that runs the Dixon Creek division of the 4.6s, name drop. He made this fancy little holder for me because having a knife sharpener in your pocket like bear, like it dulls things, like it'll just scratch things up. So anyways, wallet, knife sharpener. What else do we have? It is April, so that's branding season. Got to have a lighter. You got to have a lighter because nothing's more frustrating. How are you going to start a branding pot fire without a lighter? I do not smoke. Never smoked, and Lord willing, I never will. The way these interns stress me out with the G word and things alike, maybe I'll start. The knife I have in my right pocket is, see, look at the blood on it, is from castrating bovine. This is, I think it's called a flipper, but it's a Spyderco. It's got that little notch there, and it comes with a clip to get clipped in your pocket. It usually falls off like in the first month or so, that clip, those little screws get loose. And I like it without the clip anyway, so that worked out. But this knife, I love this knife. Jason Pellin gave me one that I had for 6 years, finally lost it. And so I immediately ordered a new one. I think it's like $300. Joke's on them, I'd have paid more. I like to pack my gloves around for light to moderate ranching. I get these at Teskey's. They're like sized gloves. 9.5 is what I wear. So I keep those tucked in my belt that Leroy Gibbons made me. Before I pull that off, I'll show you. I do carry most of the time. This is a 9mm. It's a Hellcat Springfield. I do love Springfield. So it's a great gun, very smooth. It's kind of a little... I love to carry a bigger one in the XDM in the wintertime. Yes, that is tape. The interns make fun of me. I've got tape on the handle so it doesn't scratch my belly when I'm just wearing a T-shirt. Kind of a softer case that it's in. And then you watch it go back in there. That way you don't. I'll put that right on top of the Bible. So I carry a second knife on my belt that is made by Leroy Gibbons. The belt, not the knife. And somebody sent me this knife. I freaking love it. But I don't know who sent it to me. The belt, look at that. That looks like a bronc leather, like stirrup leather. The way the lines are, that's what that's mimicked after. The buckle, Leroy also made, got my brand on it, PF. But this second knife, I usually carry a knife on my Craig Wood, Greenbrier, Arkansas. That's who made the case. I wonder if that's who made the knife. Anyhow, yeah, CW, Craig Wood. I wonder if he's the one that sent it to me. Craig, if you sent me this knife, thank you so much. I carry it all the time. It's a nut cutter. It's got the blunted end. I usually carry it on like a rodeo day in case I need to cut a bull rope because it's not stabby at the end. But when we're working calves, I like a stabby knife with a sharp tip because whenever you do like a 7 under bit, you need to like stab through the ear. And so I like a stabby knife when I'm working cattle. But this is one that I'll carry. It's kind of a smaller, got the blue hand. Anyway, that's my everyday carry. What else? I think that's it. I got a necklace that I wear all the time. It's a wing necklace. This is a deep track. So maybe one day I'll tell you why. But regardless, that's Dale Brisby's everyday carry. Back to hot takes. And I don't know. The hot take thing is new for me. I don't know if it's... Oh, no. The sign. My Texas Precious Metals sign. I got to put it back. Hold on 1 second. Sorry, I didn't mean to knock that sign down with my foot. Texas Precious Metals, bringing you this podcast. Like to thank Texas Precious Metals. They are where I get my gold and or silver. I'm not going to lie. I've not ever bought silver. So I do like silver. Apparently, it's a big thing right now. I'm a gold guy. I've got some gold. But regardless, if you guys like gold, then hit up Texas Precious Metals. They sponsor the PRCA. They sponsor the UFC. They sponsor Cody Webster. They sponsor Dale Brisby. So great people, Christian family that owns that. I think is it called a refinery? But anyhow, it's down in Shiner, Texas owned. There you go. Love those guys. And that's not investment advice. I like things that protect wealth. That's what somebody told me. And I'll say his name, Lynn Everett. He was hanging around Snook, Texas, whenever I was working for Kermit Moss, who won the average in 1995, team roping, maybe with David Key. I can't remember, but great team roper. I like to hang around Kermit. He was putting on bull ridings. That's when I met Garrison Gable. Garrison was in charge of the timed event, and Dale Brisby was in charge of the rough stock for putting on Kermit's bull ridings. And there was a guy there that would like come rope with Kermit sometimes named Lynn Everett. still alive. He invented Everett Fresh green bags, which were bags that would keep fruit and everything. It would keep them fresher longer. And so I think he's a fascinating man. Been to shark diving with in Africa. I think that was on accident. He was like just diving, and then there were sharks. Anyhow, accidental shark diving. That does not sound fun. Great man, and I would always pick his brain. And he said gold and 22 bullets, which he came to be right on the money with 22 bullets. Do y'all remember whenever 22 bullets were just crazy insane to get a hold of? Everybody started buying them up, which made it harder. Well, anyway, production caught up, and thank goodness we've had some Republicans in office that aren't trying to, take away the old, Anyhow, he was right about the 22 bullets, and the gold, he said, will protect your wealth. And so at the time, I got to thinking, I was like, at that time where I'm living now, an ounce of gold was similar to an acre of land. Well, fast forward, that's been probably 20 years since he gave me that advice. The land prices have gone up, and where I'm at, it's about the same as an ounce of gold. And danged if he wasn't right. So what's happening is land and gold haven't changed. There's only so much gold, there's only so much land, but the value of the dollar has changed. Anyhow, I'm not trying to give you guys, I've just realized some things, and that's why I like gold, because of my main man, Lynn Everett. I also like real estate, like rental properties. Like that's cool too, knowing that, you can, but whatever. Again, not investment advice. What are we moving on to? Hot takes. But on the animal in the chute. So in chute procedure in rodeo, you'll sit down on a bull, you warm up your bull rope, you put your hand in the bull rope, you'll have someone pull it tight for you, and then you thread it through your hand, you go through the back of your hand, you'll come back around, so you wrap it around your hands, and you can, instead of going just straight across and your hand closed, you can also like run it through a pinky, which is like, some people call it a suicide wrap. Most bull riders just call it like a pinky wrap, split pinky, whatever. But like we don't call it a suicide wrap. Anyhow, you will hang up easier. And so it is similar to commit. Anyway, so I get where they're going with that. While you're in the chute, performing your chute procedure, which should be the same all the time, some bareback riders and bull riders, bronc riders, don't do this at all, really ever, will sit up above the animal. Like they'll kind of stand on the chutes, and their butt might be like 1.5 feet or 2 feet above the animal. And I do not like it when guys do that at my facility. I learned chute procedure from Lyle Sankey at Sankey Rodeo Schools, and he wanted us to sit on the animal. You can feel them. A horse, if it were going to flip and you lean to one side, a bull, if they kick, like you're still going to fly forward, but if it like hits you, if it gets a bunch of speed with its butt and then hits you, it'll just launch you. And so it's still rough. It's not necessarily a parachute, so to speak, but it's just safer. And so whatever, that's a hot take. That's probably boring for y'all. Running a finger through a bronc rein, I'm okay with. That's a hot take, they said. No, I said that. They didn't say that. I just figured that was probably one. A lot of people just think it's the worst and the end of the world. You're going to lose a finger. I don't know. I've done it for years. I know other guys that have. I've heard of bronc riders saying like, hey, if you run a finger through, or they would just run their finger through if they had an injury on their hand or finger, or if it had been raining. And I thought, man, like then why not do it all the time? But I don't advise beginners to do it at all. There's no point in doing it your first 150 broncs. It's just like this little thing that comes later. Like if you're just simply bucking off, because you're going to buck off your first 50. Here's another hot take. Bronc riding is the hardest event to learn, period, end of story. Calf ropers, like bareback, bull riders, bullfighters, y'all get out of the way because like the runway on learning to ride a bronc is so much longer. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I use that analogy correctly, but it is so hard to learn to ride a bronc. People insisting a veteran story is false. People, especially civilians, that blows my mind. Like how many, like I'll have a veteran on and people will just jump in the comments and just deny that it happened. And some of these people, I'm like, bro, you weren't even alive when this unfolded. Like much less now, if somebody on that mission wants to comment, like, okay, that's weird that you're commenting, and because like you're professional enough that it doesn't seem like you would be a keyboard warrior. However, they would be the people I would understand have an objection to something. But Steer Rider Pants 47, get out of my comments about a veteran. You read some headline where somebody's trying to get a bunch of clicks and views just by like calling somebody out for something negative. And people will read headlines, and I think it's partly because they want to see someone fail. Like somebody, you either die a hero or live long enough to become the villain kind of thing. And I think that people just do not like to see someone succeed, which is a cancer for themselves, which is pride, which we'll talk about later. But that blows my mind that how many people will comment on a thing that they have no idea. Anyway, whatever. This is hot takes from the audience. I'm going to go through just a few of these. I think that they're good. Showers at night are better than the morning. Ooh, I don't know. I like to lay down in bed with a good shower. That's from Manda Cedarquist. Anyhow, but man, a shower in the morning to get you started. Cold shower in the morning, warm shower in the evening. That's what I'm going to agree with. But showers at night are just overall better than the morning. I don't know. Double dipping is okay if you aren't sharing. 100%. That's a great hot take. Yeah. I think double dipping is okay if you are sharing. How about that? So that's my hot take. People are going to trash talk either way. The only opinion that matters is God's. That's a good hot take. Yeah. The only opinion that matters is God's. I really don't believe that Ty is a good hooper online and real life. Just saying. Whoa. We might have to get that one confirmed. It'll be 3+ years before the beef market comes down. Huh. I don't know, man. Yeah, I mean, that's a good hot take that it'll be that long. I do hear a lot of people saying like, oh, this summer or this fall, it's going to be hightail blank. But I think you're right. Like, I think that I agree with you. See Mars 25. I do think it'll be a while before beef comes down, but I don't know that it really comes down. I think the value of the dollar changes. Just made the switch from a poly rope to a nylon. Haven't touched a poly since. I'm kind of with you there. I mean, a good broke-in nylon, like a soft nylon, broke in, is pretty fun to use in the Brandon pen. Mustard on chili dogs is good, Jared Bossa says. Dude, mustard is trash all the time forever. There's my hot take. Maybe spicy mustard occasionally. I get it. But just mustard in general, bleh. A swing and a slide gate is better than butterfly gates. Man, I used to be on a swing with a slide, but I'm a butterfly gate guy now. And it's got to be an easily. Otherwise, you ain't no cowboy. Hot take is that Dale Brisby ain't no cowboy. That kind of hurts my feelings. Hot take, DB Outdoors doesn't post enough content and you need to step it up, you slacker. I'll do better. Native 166 says, black licorice is good, and anyone who says otherwise has the taste buds of a child. Dude, black licorice is trash, Stephen M. Black. Is that why your last name is Black? Is because you like black on your Instagram? That's how much you like black licorice? Licorice in general. I'm just not... Who buys licorice anymore? Licorice. It's a weird word. It's spelled Lico rice. No. Get out of here. Go get a Snickers bar. Like, get some real food. Like, that's terrible. You should always carry a Leatherman, Bowden X31 says. Cole Snyder recently started carrying a Leatherman, and I'm a fan of them. My dad carried one most of his adult life. Dare actually makes kids do drugs is a hot take from Logan Becker. I don't know about that. I bet it's more the circles you run with. That's how those stories start. Well, I had this one friend. Like, bro, Dare doesn't make kids do drugs, Logan. That's a weird hot take. I don't agree with you. Everything is either a container, a bowl, or a straw. Huh. Yeah, I guess this could be a straw. This could be, I don't know. HDH 1214. Huh. Ari Perez says my hot take is that I think your buckle isn't big enough. Yeah. Well, this is my travel size. Amelia says that ticks are government propaganda. Starting to believe that. There's a lot of people saying this tick thing, this Lyme disease deal, scares the heck out of me. I don't know about it, but whatever. Pineapple belongs on pizza. Pineapple belongs in a juicer to make pineapple juice. Pizza needs to be cheese, pepperoni, some steak. Yeah, I'm a meat lovers kind of guy. Okay, yeah, there we go. Those are hot takes from the audience. Now we'll get back to Dale Brisby's hot takes. This one, slightly controversial, maybe the one that's going to ruffle the most feathers out of everything that I say. No, the one that I'm going to say at the very end of the podcast, that one will probably ruffle the most feathers. But this one is going to be second to that. Ranch bronc riders don't know as much about rodeo as they think they do. I grew up in a rodeo family. I've been to a lot of rodeos. And then eventually we put on some ranch rodeos where we would supply bucking horses at them. And it was wild to me. Like, we would put on 10 rodeos, or I would go to rodeos. Like, let's say I've been to 40 rodeos that year and interact with bareback, saddle bronc, bull riders, whatever. And then I go to one ranch bronc riding a ranch rodeo. It is crazy how those ranch bronc riders, now not all of them, act like this. But it's wild, like how they'll go to they'll get on 2 ranch broncs a year and then act like they are Billy Etmeyer. The way they talk to the stock contractor, the way they insist they know everything, which is wild because if you meet Billy Etmeyer, like, he's one of the most humble humans on the planet. He's so humble, such a great guy. And he would never act like some of the ranch bronc riders who have been to 2 events and they've just got it figured out. Now, there's a lot of guys going right now that are really good that do know. And it's still popular to act like you don't know. Not like act like you don't know, but just not to be arrogant. That's like super chill. But you got some guys going that they've been to a lot of ranch bronc rides because now it's starting to pop up. There's not as many bears or saddle bronc riders at some associations, so they'll have ranch bronc riding. So you have some guys that go down the road a lot. So I'm not blanket statementing everyone, but man, it's wild to me how many ranch bronc riders think they know about a rodeo, and they just do not. And I know you've been on a lot of bucking horses at the house, but it's just different. When you slap a flank on a horse, they buck different. The way you hold the rein, it needs to be done a certain way for, like, it's like that same guy that acts like he knows everything, his rein's like way up here. Anyway, however, that's one of my hot takes. I'll get to my last hot take or two at the very end of the podcast. They are a little more controversial. Unplanned moments that we've caught on film. Wild unplanned moments that were caught on film. I'll start with maybe I'm going to end with the most wild. So coming in at number 8 is when I helped Kai Hamilton get ready for the NFR this year. Got a little wild, got run over. I got run over, Kai got run over. It was a big day of getting run over. So that part was unexpected. Now we're riding bulls, and so, those things happen, and so we shouldn't be. We weren't necessarily surprised because they were real bucking bulls, but that was something wild. What's next? Carson Sanders knockout. That was a wild thing that happened that we caught on camera. Carson was at the stockyards. We all went there. I was flanking on a Danny Reagan's horse, United Pro Rodeo. Shout out to them. And Carson started a good ride on a bucker. And he had not been on a lot of broncs at that time. Hit the ground. Your boy got knocked out. Now, the EMT. This is a stereotype that I do not like. The EMT at that rodeo did walk so slow out there, which is fine. I got to him first. So Carson, there's still a bucking horse in the arena. Our man is knocked out. Let's go check on him. Let's go make sure there's not like a serious back or neck injury. He's unconscious. He's helpless. Let's go help this helpless man. He's usually helpless when he is conscious. Well, now he's unconscious. So anyways, I get out there quickly. I think maybe Jace does or Donnie, somebody else. We start picking him up. And this EMT waddles out there, and he's like mad at me that I'm helping him. I'm like, bro, I don't mind that I got here first, but don't act like you're just the expert and getting mad at me for helping my friend if you're going to get here 6 minutes later. It's 100 yards at the most, maybe more like 60. Don't get mad at me because I'm out here helping my friend while there's a bucking horse in the arena. Like, if you want to be a leader in that moment, I'm going to let you take charge. Obviously, you know more than me about modern medicine. However, shut your mouth on yelling at me if you're going to waddle in slow motion, like Sid the Sloth or something. Whatever. That's another moment that was wild, unplanned, and caught on camera. Next up, Jace in the hospital. No. Before that, Jace breaking his leg. Made a great ride. He went to dismount. I was the pickup man. He got shot pretty high over my head, and when he came down, he landed on his feet, but broke his leg. So that's one of the moments. Right next to that is another moment that was unplanned, that was wild and caught on camera, was him calling his dad in the hospital while I'm talking to Donnie about trying to figure out what kind of room he was in, which it wasn't a room. It was kind of like a cubby. Donnie suggested nook, but turns out I think it's more of a bay, garage bay, and the garage door was a curtain. So the doctor insisted it was a room, but ultimately we landed on bay. Hot Dog kicked the crap out of me the other day. We were deworming, and Hot Dog did kick me hard. That got caught on camera. Next to last, Arizona. The wild moments. We just didn't anticipate it being that wild. It was unplanned. It was planned, but some of those things that happened were not planned. And we caught that on camera. And so look out for another. Be sure and subscribe, you guys. Hit the notifications and get involved in the comments. And so that way you don't miss my next Arizona film, which is coming up soon. Okay, the wildest moment. This is, we've done 8. This is number 1. The wildest moment that was caught on camera that was unplanned was Tyler Kipps dragging to prison Mike and by the spur and me having to jump on his head. And my brother cut the rope. He finally come out completely unscathed. But the fact that Zach Morris, not the same Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell, the videographer Zach Morris, caught it all on film in 4K and never missed a moment. That was wild. The cameraman knew the job. And I just cannot believe my wig didn't fall off. So that is the wildest moment, unplanned, that was caught on camera. Okay, so this is similar to the what hot takes. And I should have done this right after hot takes, but small hills I would die on. I'll kind of breeze through these a little quicker. Square knots. I think everything needs to be a square knot. They stay easier, but when you go to untie it, it'll untie easier, which sounds like an oxymoron, but it's not. And the cowboys out there that are listening, you know that this is not necessarily a hot take. This is just life. If you do tie a square knot, it's not necessarily confirmation that you are a cowboy. If you don't tie a square knot, it is confirmation that you ain't no cowboy. Does that make sense? Because somebody that is just intelligent on their knot tying will know to tie a square knot, but maybe they're not a cowboy. But somebody that ties a granny knot, they for sure ain't no cowboy. So that's how that works in my mind. If we walk through a gate and you tie it shut and you tie it with a granny knot, I'm probably not going to call on you to help me if a cow gets out on the highway and I need a number 2 to go rope a cow. You're not getting called by me if you tie granny knots on a gate. That's just facts. So that's maybe a hot take, but it's really more a small hill that I'll die on. Water's got to be filled. I will fire the next intern that lets an animal go without water. You want to piss me off? Don't show up to feed or forget to water something. If I show up to an animal without water, your ass is grass, buddy. I don't like it. That's a pet peeve of mine. A small hill I would die on. That's a big hill I would die on. Trigger discipline and barrel control. Dude, I have made some strict rules with hunting around here because we have so many people coming in and out, and I've had interns point guns at my head and insist like, well, it's unloaded. No, every gun is loaded. You point a gun at my head, don't expect to be carrying a gun around me with my permission again, like hunting. Anyways, that's a small hill I'll die. That's a big hill. Hey, have you ever forgotten anything? Have you ever left the house without your phone, the keys? You walk to your car like, oh, dadgummit, I forgot the keys. That's how easy it is to forget that there's a gun in the barrel, one in the chamber. I'm sorry, that there's a bullet in the chamber of this gun. That's how easy it is. The stakes are too high. So when I pick up this gun, I've got to control the barrel, keep my finger off the trigger. Dude, every time we left the house in high school, my dad would give us the biggest speech about gun safety. The biggest ever. He was actually an instructor for hunter safety courses, and I feel like I took that course every time I left the house. Yeah, I mean, I did take that course multiple times, my hunter safety course. And it is crazy to me how many people will just point a gun. Like they'll muzzle themselves, they'll muzzle you, they just willy-nilly, well, it's unloaded. Dude, get out of my house. This thing is, it's just the end of your life. Get your finger off the trigger. If I ever have children, they will not be allowed to play with toy guns. Not in my house. Toy guns should not be a thing. We don't point them at each other. Like, I'm on the fence about water guns, but I don't yike it. What else? Rack the weights. Bro, rack the weights. Treat this stuff like it's yours. You want to talk about a bent bar? It's not from when Dale Brisby does heavy squats. Yes, that'll bend the bar a little bit. Your bars in your gyms bend because people leave weights on them at night. Act like you own it. No. Don't act like you own it. Act like I own it. Act like somebody else owns it. The last small hill that I'll die on that I know of that's also maybe a hot take is acceleration lanes. Bro, when I'm going down the highway and you get on what people call the on-ramp, you think it's not called the on-ramp. It's called an acceleration lane. You speed up to the speed of traffic and you merge. If I'm going 73, then your job is to go 74 and get in front of me or go 72 and get behind me. It's this acceleration lane. Actually speed up to 74 and get in front of me. I'm okay with that. But what I don't want is for you to look at me with an expectation to scoot over when you're slowing down to get right next. No, bro, I ain't scooting over. You can get behind me or you can use the lane for what it's for and speed up and get in front of me. Now, if there's a semi-truck in front of you or this or that, like extenuating circumstances, I get it. But if we're just rolling and you just you hit the brakes in that lane and look over your shoulder to get next, no, I ain't moving. I'm sorry. You should have learned how to drive whenever you took driver's education. And you should have learned and remembered that this is an acceleration lane. It's not a slow down, look over my shoulder, and hope that everybody else gets out of the way. Anyway, that makes me mad, bro. That makes me mad. Let me go back to page 1. Wild pet moments. Yeah, I mean, some of y'all have never helped your mom neuter a cat, and it shows. Okay, like that's just common 101 growing up. Like you stuff the cat into the boot, in a sock, in a boot, and you hold the top so your mom can cut its nuts out. That's how that works. And I don't know. That's basic animal husbandry right there, in my opinion. And then another wild moment that some of the guys thought I needed to share. We had a miniature donkey named Webster. Dadgummit, the sign fell again. We had a miniature donkey named Webster. He was a menace. Donkeys, Craig Cameron, I stayed with him a couple of summers, name drop. He said once, donkeys are so much smarter than horses, it makes them look dumb. That's a hot take. Donkeys are so much smarter than horses, it makes the donkey look dumb. And I think that to be true. I've helped train one mule for Clint Cannon in exchange for an elk hunt, which I never got. Clint, holla at your boy. I don't know if you still own that place in Colorado. If you don't, I get it. Anyway, they are smart. They're very smart. And made me look dumb because I wasn't that good of a horse trainer at that time. And I think I'm worse now. So anyhow, the donkey thing, my donkey, miniature donkey, Webster. His name was Webster. So smart. He could open doors. He would just come in the house. And it's fine if it's my house. But it became a problem when he went in my neighbor's house while I was in Vegas at the NFR. Whoa. You get a call from your neighbor. You get a call from your neighbor and they say, hey, your donkey is in my kitchen eating a can of Pringles that he found on the counter. That's an odd call to respond to. So if you get a donkey, make sure they don't learn how to open doors. And definitely don't teach them how to open doors because then it's your fault. We had a llama once named Woodrow. The barn fell on him during a storm and broke his neck. It's not that really that interesting, but Dale Brisby did have a llama named Woodrow. Well, my dad did. I think it was my mom's. She's the one that came home with Webster also. She also came home with a dog named Janky. Dude, this dog loved to roll. You could give this dog a bath, and I'm telling you, like, it wanted its hair matted. She got old. She was a great dog. She was so good. Didn't need a fence. Like, she just chilled, whatever. But she did get to where her vision wasn't that good, and she kind of wandered to town one day. I think I was in a podcast or doing something, and she goes across town, little bitty town of Winnebago, and went to this lady's house, and the lady made this BS post on Facebook saying that the owner doesn't take care of the dog because her hair's all matted. And I'm like, no, you don't get it. Like, this dog wants her hair matted. That's her choice. But she couldn't see. And so, like, she kind of looks pitiful because she can't really see because her vision, she was so old. Anyhow, she made that post on Facebook and gave the dog away within like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Like, I'm talking like before lunch. And she felt bad when she realized that, like, it was my dog, and I still know this person. Yeah. Later, the husband was like, hey, man, I didn't realize that was you. We should hang out. And I was like, man, I don't want to hang out with you. You gave my dog away, and my heart's broken. And I still think about that dog. She probably only had maybe a year left. She was so old. But whatever. Janky. R.I.P. Love that dog. What else? We do have probably some spots open on the team. I had to move some guys over, or they wanted to be moved over from media. And that's kind of the revolving door position. So a couple of things will happen. Either in this case, people decide, oh, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to edit videos for Dale Brisby. And they're like, hey, do you have another job in the company I can do? And in this case, we did. Or the other thing that's happened a couple of times is people get sniped. People get headhunted. What's the thing? People get stolen? I don't know. That's what happened with Jordan. Because most people come here, they don't know how to edit and or film, and that's something they learn here with me, and so that becomes valuable for other companies. It's a trade, and it's something that I tell people on the media team, like, hey, this is a trade that could potentially, if you take it serious, pay you better than plumbing or electric or welding. Like, you could grow your own media company, and it could start here working for me. So anyways, if you're out there and you want to be on the media team, just text the word intern to me. Text the word media to me, 940-353-0890. Comment on my recent post and just keep commenting. Say, hey, check my DMs. Hey, check my DMs. That's how you get a hold of me. On Instagram, comment. And if you want to be on my media team and you don't have an Instagram, that's a problem. So anyhow, comment on my recent Instagram. Check my DM, check my DM. And in that DM, let me tell you a pet peeve. There's another hot take. If you're from anywhere, I don't know why people from out of country seem to think that just because they're out of country, like they just deserve a job somewhere. Hey, I'm from Argentina. I need a job. My dream is to ride bulls. I'm going to come work for you. And it's like, man, I want to help you out. I need you to start that conversation differently, because I've got a lot of people, and this is anywhere. Start the conversation with like how you can bring value to that person. And this is, I'm talking about the conversation of, I need a job. I'm not talking about I'm a fan of you, because I respond to comments all day, every day. And like, I will send random fans free caps, free shirts, just because it melts my heart so much. At the very least, if I see, like, I'm thanking you, I'm going to like your recent post, I'm going to watch your story. Like, the fans are what, but I'm talking about a different conversation. Literally the one of, I want to work for you. If you want to have that conversation with somebody, it should go like this. This is the way I can bring you value. Somebody like Dale Brisby, Danny Duncan, Trevor Brazil, Cameron Haynes. Like, if you want to go work for those type of people, find a way to bring them value and explain that to them. Like, I can help you edit videos. I can feed and clean out your stalls, Trevor, for free for 6 months, for a year, whatever. And eventually, if you actually are a hard worker, let's use the Trevor. If you actually are a hard worker and you do sincerely help, and you're not just there for 30 minutes and then you're looking at him for a team roping lessons, like, you're bringing him value, he's going to return that value. You've got to find a way to meet a need of his, and he's going to return that value. Here, it's a little bit different. Like, you don't even have to work for free for me. Like, it's an actual job. Like, I'm going to pay you to do it. And then when you go to ride bulls, you're going to get paid to ride bulls. So it's kind of a honey hole, I think. This is the best job you can have in rodeo. I'm going to give you a place to live. I'm going to pay you to do a job. I'm going to pay you to learn how to ride bulls or broncs. And so this is a good gig. Now, you may not want to work on a computer, because that's the job I need right now. I don't need a ranch hand. I've got 3 of those. I need a media person. So anyhow, whatever. When you go to apply for those jobs, whether it's me or Trevor Brazil or anybody else, like, just try to provide them value. And that's how you get somebody's attention. That's how you get somebody's attention. I do want to help out random people from Argentina. I only need so many employees. So I have to then like filter through the ones that I think are going to really help me help them. Because if all I do, I got to pay the bills. And when I pay the bills, I'm able to pay your bills. What did I promise you guys? Oh, yeah. It's more serious hot take. What's my serious hot take? Dude, 2 of them. I posted a video of trying to kill a scorpion with Dawn, and it worked. I got him killed. And then I posted a video of trying to kill a scorpion with WD-40, and that worked. And go back to my Instagram and watch them, see how it played out. But there were people just unhinged in the comments, talking about like they were unfollowing me because I didn't relocate them. And I just like, man, sorry about you. Like, if you don't like that, then we probably weren't going to get along with a lot of other things. But who cares about these freaking scorpions when there are babies like that. A mother's belly is the most dangerous place for a human being right now. That is, a baby is so much more precious and amazing and a miracle of God than a scorpion. Like a scorpion. Now, I'm just saying, if I find a scorpion in my shower, I'm going to kill it. Like, that's just where I stand. I'm okay with that. Now, I don't believe in like just killing things for the sake of killing things. Like, I believe in population control. Like, we might need to kill more does, but we're doing something with that meat. Like, I believe that. Like, and I'm not gonna, like, what's the most quick and merciful death that we can do? A gun or an arrow? Okay, well, that's even better than them dying. Have you ever seen, like, on Discovery Channel, like how animals sometimes die? Like, they get taken down by a predator, and then that predator will be, I don't think you guys understand the eating alive comment. Like, animals get eaten alive, meaning like they're still alive watching their leg get eaten by a predator. There's no way that that's better than a 243 bolt action. There's no way that's better. So anyways, whatever. Yeah, that's just one of my hot takes, that babies are more important than scorpions. So that's one of them. The other one is pride is competitive. The guys asked me, one of the segments was, what are some things that humbled you? And so this part of the podcast, this last couple of minutes, it's just me, some hot takes from life. And what that is for me, over the last few years, I've studied pride, my pride, and humility. The opposite, the sin, and I think it's one of the 7 deadly sins, whatever, is pride. Well, the virtue opposite that is humility. So pride and humility, they go hand in hand. In conversation, they do. They're opposites in life. And what I've realized is how much pride I have. And maybe that's why I'm good at playing this game of joking about it, because I have so much of it. I don't think maybe. That is why I'm good at making jokes about it, because it's like actually true to my character, which is sad. But I'm working on it. And I think the first step is identifying it. You know, that's what they say. But I read a book. It's on the wall over here, Mere Christianity. The Book for the Unconvinced is what some people call it. C.S. Lewis wrote it decades ago. Like, C.S. Lewis has since passed a long time ago. And it's actually, Mere Christianity is actually, I think, 4 books. And it's maybe the 3rd book within the 4. Regardless, it's on page 121. And of that 3rd book, within the book, it's like chapter 8, and it's called The Greatest Sin. And I want to say it's like 12 pages long. I read it often because he describes pride. And one thing he talks about in there is like how when the Lord will say, "Depart from me, I never knew you," you know? And they say, "Well, did we not cast out demons in your name? Did we not give money to the church and blah, blah, blah?" And he'll say, "Depart from me, I never knew you." He thinks that the thing, like, rewind the tape. Like, why did those people, so those people were like living, like they were abstaining from sex, and they weren't drinking, they weren't smoking, they were walking the straight and narrow, so to speak. They think they're on the path to heaven. They get there, and God himself says, "Depart from me, I never knew you." Why is that? And C.S. Lewis, he thinks that it's pride that got in their way. They did all those things in the name of pride. Matter of fact, he says that drunkenness, sexual immorality are mere flea bites in comparison to pride. So, anyway, pride is competitive. He describes it as pride is competition. He doesn't say this, but me observing, I don't think all competition is pride, but I agree with him that all pride is competition. So, Um, that is what, dude, it's such a touchy thing because people use pride as a good thing so much. And I just don't think it is. And my dad told me, or he never told me he was proud of me, which on one hand is like, dang, that's sad. Well, no. And he would say, because pride is a sin. And the next place that I ever heard that talked about, the only other person that I heard talk like that was C.S. Lewis. And he addresses it in this chapter. He was like, a parent can be proud of a child in a sinful way. They're competing with their children against other parents. And so they're proud of their child. Like, my kid won this thing and your kid lost. And I'm proud that my kid won it because of the competition that that kid has with the other. That is sin, I believe. But he says sometimes, like, we've twisted the word, and we use it in what we might mean. Instead of pride in the sinful way, a parent might mean they have a warm-hearted admiration for their child. And so they're not comparing anything. They're just happy, and they love that their child won. They're happy to see that their child is happy. They're at peace. They're healthy. But in the English language, we've gotten to where we use the word pride so much that they say, I'm proud of you. But they don't necessarily mean it in the sinful sense. So I do think that all pride is a sin, like by definition of the word, like, and the way that I'm thinking of it. Now, you might say it and you mean it a different way. Well, obviously, then maybe that's different. But pride is competitive. I don't think all competition is pride. But if you are doing something in your life just to beat someone else, and you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. For those other arrogant holes out there, you know what I'm talking about. Like, somebody walks in a room and you now want to be better at this thing because they're good at it. That's not good. I think guys, because I'm a guy, I know that guys are bad at it. So that's my hot take. What does it say in Matthew 23:12? If you exalt yourself, you'll be humbled. If you humble yourself, you'll be exalted. There is so much in the Bible about pride and humility. So much. Like, if you go to actually reading through the Psalms and the Proverbs, like, fear the Lord, be humble. People argue with that. Like, well, it means like a respect the Lord. Like, it says fear the Lord a lot. It also uses the word respect. And I'd like to get into more into the translations, but like, people argue with, like, no, like, you're not supposed to be, dude, work out your salvation with fear and trembling. That should humble you. Just how big God is. Like, how much better God is than we are is something that should humble us. Yeah. Depart from me, I never knew you. They, deep down, they were their own God. And the God that they think approves of them is really just more it's just like this fairy tale part of their story. Anyhow, I'm all over the place. I did do a sermon on it that's online, Dale Brisby sermon. I do Bible studies on them. I think I've done like 50 Bible studies, but it's an unlisted link. Anybody can listen to it, but it's an unlisted link, and you have to be sent the link. And so if you're interested in that, you can text the word Bible to my phone number, 940-353-0890. That's not a plug. I don't care. You don't have to. I usually don't even check how many people listen to them. I usually do like one a month, and I'll send out a Bible study. And most of them are on pride because that's what I'm dealing with. So also just know that I use that for marketing. I text people back all the time, but it's also used for marketing. So you're going to hear about a new video or maybe a new t-shirt cap that came out when you subscribe to that text list. But if you're there for the Bible study, whatever, just disregard, hey, I put up a new video, or hey, I got a new awesome hoodie. Check it out on rodeotime.com, plug. And just wait for the Bible studies. They'll come around. I love making videos. The other thing I love doing is running that apparel line. So that's y'all check that out. We've got a new designer that's full-time. He's made designs for us in the past, Pecos McCool, but now he's here full time. He's in the warehouse right now making you guys a new design, and it's a passion of mine. I enjoy rodeo. I enjoy going to Arizona, but I really love running rodeotime.com, my apparel line. I hope that one day it can be as big as what I think it is able to be. So, and that's what pays the bills around here. That's what actually pays the bills, as well as some of our sponsors. Again, we like to thank Can-Am Side by Side. That's how we feed every morning, and what we feed is Total Feeds. I was feeding that before they sponsored me. The shades I wear are Shady Rays. Use code Dale on shadyrays.com. You can get 50% off if you order 2 pairs of sunglasses on shadyrays.com. So use code Dale. Cole was like, man, your code didn't work. Well, he bought 1 pair. Essentially, it's buy 1, get 1 free. Buy 2 pair, you'll get 50% off if you use code Dale. Mountain Ops, try the Ignite Light. Try the Forest Berry Ignite Light. Use code Dale there. I think it's like 20% off. Rock and Roll Denim. rockandrolldenim.com, I think, is 15% off. They're my OG sponsor. They've been with me like 12 years. I love Rock and Roll Denim. Great company. Panhandle Slim, like the OG Pawpaw Pearl Snap shirts that y'all been wearing for, it's like 75 years the company's been around. That's Panhandle. So yeah, use code Dale there on rockandrolldenim.com. American hats. If you don't wear an American hat, you ain't no cowboy. My dad died wearing an American hat. I still got it. It's on the mantle. Wore it till his last day. Anyways. Texas Precious Metals. So if you like gold, get it at texmetals.com. Texmetals.com. What else? That's it, man. Love you guys. I'm not going to keep you any longer. Don't compete with people unnecessarily. Competition is good, but pride is competitive. So just try to decipher when which is which. Love you guys. Pow pow, and on to the next one. We're going to end it with the music. Yeah, baby. Love you guys. Wow. I need to end it with this every time, too.